Is up, fellow YouTubers? So, my cell phone's pretty much dead, so I gotta charge it up. And while I'm charging it up, I'm going to make a cooking video. Normally, I film the cooking video like with my phone, but because my phone is needing to be charged, I put it on airplane mode. Put it on airplane mode so nobody interrupts me while I'm doing a cooking video. And then we'll charge her up, and yeah. What are we making? Well, I'm gonna make just an interesting take on mac and cheese. Like, I got two different kinds. I have no idea how it's gonna taste, but we're just gonna throw it together and see how it turns out, because that's how I cook sometimes. Um, well, here's the pan we're gonna make it in, right here. Got that for the stove. And we have some mac and cheese and some white cheddar macaroni. So yellow cheddar and white cheddar. You got two different kinds right there. Not a sponsor, just show that logo. Boom, baby. Now the first thing I'm going to do, YouTube, before we do any sort of sauce making for this pasta, what have you, we need to pour the noodles in, add some water, boil the noodles, get them cooked, and then drain the water out of the noodles so we can add our sauce. Which the sauce is going to be extremely unhealthy, but that's why you watch, isn't it? Alright. I don't have any meat to put in this, so like if you wanted to make a hamburger helper style type meal, just get your cooked beef and add it in after you take your cooked beef that's all chopped up and add it after you add your sauce, if you want, you know. So here's the white cheddar. We got the cheese seasoning to make our noodles cheesy. We're going to set those to the side for now. Now, people on YouTube have talked a lot of shit. They're like, can you cook something else besides pizza and bacon cheeseburgers? I don't know, could you say something else besides a hate comment? Oh, you're such a retard. All you do is cook burgers and pizza. I cook other things. Come on now. Oh yeah, here's that cheese powder for the other one. Booyah. We're going to save those for later. Okay, here we are. Booyah. There we go. Pour them in there, mix them together. Now the sauce I'm gonna make for this is gonna be kind of buttery, so hopefully that keeps it from sticking. So we got that white cheddar and that regular cheddar mac and cheese. We'll add some water to the noodles. Just enough water so that the water's above the surface of the noodles. Maybe a little bit more. Just a splash more. There we go. Alright, so we got enough water in there to cook the noodles with, just a little bit. Kind of add it as you go. If you need more water, then going to turn the stove on to high. And we'll turn the computer facing towards the kitchen so you can see me. There we go. How's that? Beautiful. Alright, so let's do a cooking video. Let's go ahead and turn that stove on to high. And while the stove's being turned on to high, I want to take some Country Crock original spread and throw it into the water with the noodles. So that way when the water starts boiling and melting, you know, that butter's going to melt in with that water and cook into the noodles. That's what I'm talking about, YouTube. Okay, YouTube, so I want to throw some of that spread in there. Now, the sauce is going to have butter in it too, so, you know, you don't need a whole lot of butter in there, but enough to make the noodles nice and tender and full of flavor. Alright. Now that we got the stove turned on to high, we got our noodles in there. Show you how much butter I put in there. Right there you can see. Not a whole lot, but just enough to, you know, that's plenty of butter for those noodles. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread the butter around in the pan, kind of break it up into chunks, you know, just kind of stir it around with the noodles. Stir it around with the noodles. Get that butter to dissolve. And this part may take a while, but just kind of take a fork and stir it around in a circle. I'm going to show you how to make some bomb-ass mac and cheese, which is a few simple ingredients. Of course, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we'll find out, won't we? That's what makes cooking fun, is try something new, explore your creativity. There, now we got enough butter in there. We got it dissolved in the water. Now that butter is going to add more liquid to the water, so that's plenty of water. The noodles are below the surface. It's just a layer of butter on top. After breaking it up, stirring it around. Beautiful. Now what happens when we boil the noodles in some water and some butter, okay? That butter is going to boil into your noodles and make them so tender and full of flavor. Probably going a little bit crazy with the calories, but guess what? Winter is right around the corner. So if you stack up on calories for the winter, that's not going to hurt, to be quite honest. We might have to add some seasoning to our sauce when we get to that point. But right now, all I'm going to do right now is just wait, and we're going to let the let those noodles boil up for a minute. I turn the stove on to high, so it shouldn't take too long for that stove to heat up. You know, I haven't had very many ideas for cooking videos lately, so I'm like, alright, let's make some pasta. Okay, now with the butter all stirred up and that water starting to come to a boil, that's what it looks like right there on camera. Get a close-up of it. There we go. YouTube, it's a brand new cooking video for the YouTubes. Now when all that butter is on top of the water, all that water is going to boil away, and we're going to be left with this. We're going to be left with these buttery noodles. So I'm going to let that butter just kind of boil away there. At this point, when you're making mac and cheese, all you can do is wait. I do drain a little bit of the water out, but I leave just a little bit in the bottom of the pan to give our sauce some base. I know people say you're supposed to drain the noodles completely, but we'll try doing it like that. We'll drain the noodles completely. I don't have a pasta strainer, but I do have a bowl I can drain it into. I also have some manwich sauce. Like I said, if you made sloppy joes and you're making some manwich sloppy joes, you mix it in with this mac and cheese, I bet you it'd be boss as shit. That's good sauce. That's gonna add a crazy texture to it for sure. But alright, so we got our cheese packets. We'll save those for here in a minute and put them in the kitchen so they're ready. Now, as that water starts to boil down a little bit, I'm going to add more butter to it. Just a little bit more. Just like maybe a fork or two more. Like that much. Like two more just like that. Two more just like that. There we go. Put two more scoops of that in there. Again, stir it around. You want a layer of butter and a layer of water at this point. Kind of just stir it around. While the water tenderizes the noodles and cooks them, that butter is just going to cook straight into those noodles. Now the water is nice and steamed up, we can stir it around. And that didn't take long to dissolve. There we go. It pretty much looks the same as it did when I last showed it on camera, you know. But now we got this, you know how I do, this sort of bubbly foam on top from the water. Again, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, so my cooking recipes are a bit weird. But right there you can see that bubbly steam. It's starting to steam up. That's what we're looking for. That's exactly what we're looking for. I'm going to go ahead and put these noodles in there. Get them all steamed up. I mean, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I really don't. It could be a complete effing disaster. But we'll try. All you can do is try. Now you'll know when your noodles are done if you take a fork and you pull a noodle out and the noodle is nice and squishy and chewy. That's how you know your noodles are fully cooked. You know, you take a noodle out of your pan and you give it a squeeze and it's got that, you know how pasta feels when it's cooked? It's got a little bit of push to it, you know? It's not stiff, it's not hard. Yeah. And when you're cooking pasta, sometimes you're going to get little chunks that don't get cooked all the way. It happens. You know, if it happens, it happens, you know. But like I said, all you got to do is take a fork, you know. Right now, I'm taking a fork, and while the water is boiling and cooking up the pasta noodles, I'm stirring it around in a circle. Just kind of stirring the pot of noodles here. And at this point, it's pretty straightforward, man. As I'm starting to mix it, I didn't add too much water to this just because, you know, we need a little bit to cook. Noodles, just a little bit, not a whole lot though. So like periodically just come in and stir your noodles up. And periodically check on it and just kind of, you know, like this stage doesn't take a whole lot of concentration because you're just, you know, you're making pasta, you're boiling it. It's, you know, really straightforward, YouTube. Just throw the water in there, fucking boil it up, you know. Mm. Yep, these noodles are just about done. I try to drain as much of the water as possible. I don't have a pasta strainer, so a little bit of water in there is not going to hurt it. To be quite honest, like at the bottom, just very bottom, you know. But preferably after you do this step, you want to pour your noodles into a pasta strainer, drain off all the water, and then take all the water out of the pan, put the noodles back in the pan, and then you add your sauces and then stir it around. Pretty straightforward. I mean, this is pasta at its finest. Now, the reason why I added all that buttery goodness to the inside of the pan is by the time that water boils away, we're going to have this nice pan of buttery soaked noodles ready to be sauced up. Oh, oh, oh my. I took a bite of that noodle. I took a bite of one of the noodles. Cooked all the way through. Buttery soft. Yes. Here's a look at our noodles so far. As you can see, some of that water is boiled away for the most part. And we're left with a little bit of water at the bottom. Just a little bit of water right there. I'll let it cook on the stove for a bit longer before I start adding the sauces. Now with the water boiling away, all that's going to be left with these noodles is a nice buttery coating. And again, we're stirring it up, keeping those. And the butter will keep the noodles from sticking to your pan for the most part. So there's an added bonus. It adds flavor to your noodles, and it keeps your noodles from sticking to your pan while you're cooking them. Yeah, this is going to be some deliciousness. The noodles are just about there. I turn the stove down to a medium heat. Get that stove turned down to a medium heat, and then we're going to pour that water from the pan into the sink the best we can. Oh, nope, that's not going to happen. All the noodles are coming out. Nope, I don't want to waste these. Damn it. That's alright, because when that water boils away, you're going to be left with this buttery film around the noodles. Alright. So, I got a fork I'm stirring it with, but here we go, YouTube. These noodles are ready for sauce. They're cooked, they're buttery, they're steaming. Let's add some of this Manwich Sloppy Joe sauce to it. Add the whole goddamn can. Fuck it. Now take a look at that, YouTube. We added the Manwich Sloppy Joe sauce in there. Beautiful. Okay, we got it on a nice medium heat. And we're going to add some more butter to it, and some seasoning, and then our cheese packets, and we're going to stir it around. That simple. So on top of that Manwich sauce, we're going to add some more butter. And this time around, get a big old glob of it. You know, much, much bigger than the last time. Yeah, a little bit more won't hurt. Yes. That's plenty of butter for the sauce. That's more than plenty of butter for this sauce. Oh, YouTube. Look at all that right there. Awesome sauce. Now into that, we're going to add some seasoning, maybe a pinch of Tony's. Some of that Russ County meat seasoning. Just the 4 seasonings that I normally would add. Let's see. Payne County Rust all meat seasoning. Sprinkle of that in there. Honey chipotle barbecue rub. Sprinkle of that. Some of that Slap Yo Mama Cajun seasoning. A splash of that Tony's. Boom, a little bit of seasoning just to give it some flavor. We may have to add more butter as we go. We'll see how that goes. Alright, so now we got our white cheddar and our yellow cheddar cheese packets. Go ahead and open these up and just pour it in there. So I'm going to pour those cheese packets right on top. Got the white cheddar and the regular orange cheddar. There it goes. Didn't want to open up, did it? And okay, one more little chunk of butter on top of that cheese powder. That should be enough to help us congeal the there we go, just like that. Let's give me some bomb ash mac and cheese, yo. Look out. Let's get a look at our ingredients so far. Here you can see all the seasoning, the sauces, the 2 different cheese powders, all that in there. Alright. So now what we're going to do, put it back on the stove and stir this mother up. Dude, you feel me? YouTube, you feel me? We're going to take our sauces and our cheese mixtures and our seasonings, all that fucking butter that we put in there. Take this fork and just stir it around, man. Stir it around town. Bring it around town. Bring it around town. Oh, on a real note, YouTube, just take all that butter that we put in there, big ass gobs of it, with that cheese sauce. It's about to be forming. Because you got this, oh, dude. What have we here? To be quite honest, YouTube, I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but that's the fun of cooking, isn't it? We come up with our own recipes, find something that's like, oh, hey, that's kind of good. Hold up. See, I got stuff to cook, but like I don't want to cook it half the time, so. I'm going to stir that around, stir it around. Beautiful. I'm going to turn that down to a 4, from medium heat to 4. Right there, we're just going to, now that we got our ingredients all stirred together just like that, there it is all combined. Beautiful. Turn the stove on to a 4. A nice low heat. Finish cooking it up here. Yeah, yeah. That sauce for the noodles, that cheese combination, not too shabby, not too shabby. Oh, what do we got here? We got some tomato basil garlic. You know, I might pour a splash of this Prego tomato basil garlic sauce. Pour a splash of that in there for flavor. Right there, show that, not a sponsor. There we go. And a little bit more. There we go. Now, YouTube, I have no idea how this is going to turn out. But there's that tomato garlic sauce right in there on the top. I'm going to go ahead and stir that around one more time. Get all that tomato sauce incorporated into the pasta mixture. Now, after turning it down to a low heat as we stir all the sauce in, that buttery sauce that we made on the spot, it's starting to congeal just a little bit. You know how mac and cheese does when it congeals together with the cheese powder? It's doing the same thing right now. Needs more of that garlic sauce. Needs more of that garlic sauce. I'm going to pour some more of that Prego tomato basil garlic sauce in there. Kind of cut the taste a little bit. There we go, YouTube. Brand new cooking video. I haven't made one of those in a while, simply because I run out of ideas. I do. I have other ideas, but getting to make them all the time doesn't always happen. But check that out. We got the sauce in the middle right there. Let's go ahead and put that back on the stove one more time. Take our trusty fork, and we're going to stir all that sauce in with our pasta. I haven't done a cooking video in a while, YouTube, so this will be interesting. See how this turns out. Now I got it on a nice low heat, so that way I don't burn the crap out of it while I'm cooking it. Alrighty then. Beautiful. Now, go ahead and let that simmer for a couple minutes. Turn it down to simmer. Let that congeal up a bit better. awesome sauce. So we're gonna let that simmer. Now here's what it looks like as it's simmering. As the pasta recipe simmers, that's what we're left with. Oh, look out. Dude. When I'm tasting that sauce coming off that pasta, that's way fucking good. You got different cheeses going in there. You got this tomato base with it. That's not bad, yo. I mean, you saw how incredibly simple that was to make. I'll let it simmer for a couple more minutes, and then on the next video, or maybe on this video, you'll see me trying it. Should we make it a cliffhanger? No, let's not do that to the fans. And literally, this video is like 36 minutes long, so it didn't take that long to cook. It really didn't. So, you got all these ingredients, but you're not sure what to do with them. That's how you do it, YouTube. Anybody who says I can't cook, well, that's just a matter of opinion, I guess. But haters love to talk shit, yo. They really do. And it's quite sad, literally, quite sad when, you know, people go to that length to do that. So we're going to let that simmer for a little bit longer, and then we'll get into grabbing a plate of it and seeing how it turned out. That'll give me some food to munch on for a bit. There's no way I'm going to be able to eat that entire pan in one sitting. You know, I'll definitely have food to munch out on for a couple days. And that's alright with me, dude. That's, you know, nothing wrong with having leftovers. But while that pasta recipe simmers, we're going to sit down and, ooh, it's the last of my pipe tobacco right there. Go ahead and sprinkle it into my pipe. There we go. Like I said, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but so far I like what I'm seeing. I'm not following an exact recipe. I'm kind of just, you know, throwing it together, see how it turns out. Of course, there might be some mac and cheese purist out there who's like, "You sacrilegious bastard! You don't mix white cheddar with yellow cheddar." No, why not? They gotta think outside the box, as they say. In this case, I had a vision of what I wanted it to look like, and that came pretty close. I mean, smells good, looks good. So chances are it's probably going to taste good. I'll have a smoke, grab some water, and then we'll sit down and try this rather interesting cooking recipe. Like I said, if you wanted to amp up that pasta recipe, take some cooked up hamburgers, some diced onions, throw it in there, put some shredded cheese on top, and stir it around. Dude, you're set. That right there is Sloppy Joe hamburger helper right there at its finest. That's what I'd call it. If I had the meat to put the hamburger helper in there, I would do it, but I don't, so that's all right. Sometimes in life you get by with what you can. Now, when I get my YouTube money, I'll be getting some more groceries, and by then I should be inspired, I guess, to, you know, do a vegetable, all kinds of stuff. I'll be doing vegetable burger, coming up with different ways to make the burger. You already know what's up. Mm. Excellent. Not as good as cooking it with the phone in hand, but it'll do for a cooking video. It'll do. My last video just uploaded. Very good. Very good. Alrighty then. Grab another puff or two of this tobacco, put it out, grab some water, and we'll grab a plate full of this crazy concoction that I have made for YouTube. Watch this weird autistic put shit together on camera. That's why people love the cooking videos. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it does smell kind of good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it does smell pretty dank. And this is why people like the cooking videos, because sometimes my recipes are super simple. I mean, you literally watch me put this together in 35 minutes flat. Boom, done, Mac and cheese is super easy to make. It doesn't require a whole lot of rocket science. I was going to do this recipe yesterday, but I've been dealing with a small cold, so really I don't get very hungry when I'm sick. I think a lot of us are like that. That actually looks pretty good, YouTube. Not too shabby, not too shabby. I'm gonna let it simmer for just a bit longer. Always sip on some water. Yep. And letting it simmer like that caused that little sauce mixture of butter, sloppy Joe sauce, and cheese powder to congeal together, and it's bubbling and boiling and bloop, 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 so yeah. Mm. Let's go ahead and turn the stove off. Turn the stove off. Grab ourselves a bowl. And we're going to try it. We're going to try it, YouTube. Oop. Grab a fresh fork. Scoop out some. Well, I could definitely tell this is done. This looks like mac and cheese. Smells like mac and cheese. I love to cook, YouTube. I love coming up with new recipes, trying out different things, just seeing, okay, how's this going to taste? Is it going to be any good? Or did I really F up and, you know? Yeah, one more scoop. Alright, so I want to go ahead and stir that pot around one more time. There we go. That way all the sauce in this pan stays mixed in with the pasta. Alrighty, YouTube. I do thank you for watching another Cooking with Cobra segment, brought to you in part by the KINGCOBRAJFS channel. If you like the cooking videos, subscribe for more. Here's how this pasta looks, all finished. What do you guys think? Would you grab a bite of it? I grab a bite of it. That actually looks pretty good. Smells good too. Let's see how it do. Let's see how it do, YouTube. Can you make mac and cheese just using butter? Oh, dude. Dude. Yes, you can. Fresh off the stove, you can see that steam just pouring off of that cheese, that mac and cheese. Right there. And I got pipe ash all over my hands. Not the most glamorous of cooking videos, mind you. But look at that. Look how simple that was. Oh, dude. Oh. The sauce, that cheesy sauce I made for this mac and cheese, everything I put in this is just working right now. And you see, it didn't take that many ingredients to make. Really simple. Yep, I'm gonna be eating like a king the next couple of days. There's no way I'm gonna be able to finish all these noodles from that pan in one sitting. But hooey. No, I haven't been very hungry because I've had a cold I've been dealing with, like I said. So, So I'm not very hungry at the moment, but I'll try a couple bites on camera for y'all. Oh, dude. How did it turn out? It turned out super delicious, YouTube. Mm. Mm. Super easy to cook, super delicious. That butter-based cheese sauce going on top of that mac and cheese. This would make some bomb-ass hamburger helper, dude. You add some cooked beef to this, some diced onions, maybe a sprinkle of brown sugar, a couple sprinkles of that shredded cheese. Stir it up. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. YouTube. YouTube. Cooking with Cobra. Oh. Mmm. Delicious. Mmm. Ooh-wee. Well, I'm going to put this in the fridge for later. I'll be right back. One last look at this pan of deliciousness before we put it in the fridge. Mm-mm-mm. Holy crapola, YouTube. My trash can's kind of full. Reckon I should take it outside. It's part of the adulting experience, really. Oh, dude. That's how you know it was good. I'm not even going to bother counting the calories on that because who the cares? Calories are not the enemy. Nope. So even if I spend half the day in my apartment and then the other half at a friend's house hanging out, at some point I'm walking to the friend's house like for reals. Alright, so I want to get my shoes on. YouTube. Get my shoes on. And not the most glamorous part of the cooking video is watching me take the trash out after I got done cooking. Huh? See, at least my cooking videos are somewhat sanitary. Uh, hmm. Hmm. Come on, get in there. There we go. Believe that, YouTube. You want to impress the ladies? You know, they're sitting there like, oh, looking at your fridge, looking at your cupboard. You don't have much ingredients. They're kind of looking at you like, oh, this guy's a poor schmuck, you know. And you tell her that you can cook, she'll look at you like, yeah, right. Then after you make this dish, after you make this particular dish, if she likes the ingredients you put into it, then she'll like the dish. She'll go from saying, yeah, right, to, huh, okay, you know what? Color me surprised. Alright, I want to go grab up the trash and take it out real quick. Alrighty, YouTube. I'm going to take this bastard out. I'll be right back. Go ahead and turn this off. Oop, there we go. What's up, fellow YouTubers? We're back, taking out the trash. No mail. Just checking the mail to see if I got my tactical soap yet, but I didn't see it, so that's alright. It'll get here when it gets here. Got 2 bars of that awesome badass soap on the way. That's what's up. But I stopped to do a little bit of snipe hunting, and I can take this cigarette butt I found outside the apartment complex and just squeeze it into me pipe, just like that. Booyah. Kind of gross, but it works in a pinch. And it's better than smoking someone else's used cigarette butt, you know what I'm saying? Well, YouTube, getting over a cold, but I figured I'd come back at you with another cooking video. I haven't done one in a while. When I get my YouTube money, I'll be doing a vegetable burger. Anyways, tubes, thank you for watching me make some delicious pasta, and I'll catch you all later.